In the heart of India, amidst the wilderness, a tale as old as time unfolded in the 19th century. The year was 1872 when a baby boy came into this world named Dina Sanichar. Born into an ordinary family in the rural landscapes of India, Dino's life was destined to be anything but ordinary. The mystery begins with the circumstances of his abandonment. Little is known about his parents or the reasons behind their heart-wrenching decision. Perhaps it was poverty, or maybe fate had a different plan. What we do know is that the infant Dino was left alone in the wild, a world where survival was anything but guaranteed. Yet, in the vast expanses of the Indian wilderness, Dino found an unlikely refuge. A pack of wolves discovered the abandoned child and against all odds chose not to see him as prey but as one of their own. This was not a fairy tale, it was a harsh reality, and Dino's survival hinged on his ability to adapt to the wolves' way of life. From an early age, Dino began to learn the language of the wild. He adapted to the wolves' nocturnal lifestyle, learned their hunting techniques, their social structures, and their survival strategies. He ran on all fours, howled at the moon, and ate raw meat just like his adoptive wolf family. His story, while extraordinary, also raises many questions. How did a human child survive in the wild? How was he able to communicate with the wolves? And most importantly, how did he retain his humanity amidst the wild? The wolves became his family, the wild his home. This was the start of Dino's extraordinary journey. Living with wolves, Dino learned the laws of the wild, far removed from the world of men. In the heart of the Indian jungle, Dina Sanichar, a boy barely out of infancy, found a new home. His family, a pack of wolves. Life among these majestic creatures was not easy, but it was here, in the midst of the untamed wilderness, that Dino learned the art of survival. He adapted swiftly, picking up on the wolves' keen instincts. His senses heightened, sharpened in a way that's foreign to us humans. His hearing became acute, attuned to the slightest rustle of leaves or the faintest howl carried on the wind. His eyes, once accustomed to the human world, now saw with the clarity of the wild, discerning movement in the undergrowth, recognizing danger from a distance. His nose, too, learned the language of the wild, deciphering the subtlest of scents that painted a vivid picture of his surroundings. Dino's survival skills were honed to an incredible degree. He learned to hunt, to track, to move like the very creatures he lived amongst. He understood the rhythm of the jungle, the ebb and flow of life and death, the dance of predator and prey. He was, in essence, a wolf in human form. Yet this life was not without its stark contrast to the world of men. The hierarchy of the pack, the rawness of nature, the absence of language as we know it, all these were far removed from the structured society of humans. Dino's existence was dictated by the laws of the jungle, not societal norms or cultural constraints. His was a life lived on the razor's edge of survival, where only the fittest endured. In the human world, Dino would have been a child, cared for, protected, but in the wild he was a member of the pack, an equal participant in the harsh realities of life. He was not merely surviving, he was thriving, growing stronger and more resilient with each passing day. Against all odds, Dino thrived in the wilderness under the watchful eyes of his lupine family. In the year 1867, Dino's life took a sharp turn when he was discovered by a group of hunters. These were no ordinary hunters. They were seasoned men of the wilderness, accustomed to the surprises and challenges of the wild. But what they saw that day was something beyond their wildest expectations. A young boy, barely into his adolescence, living among wolves as one of their own. The hunters were taken aback, their eyes wide with disbelief. Here was a child, a human child, who had seemingly forgotten his own kind, his own language, his own way of life. He was wild, untamed and fierce, his eyes reflecting the raw spirit of the wolves he called family. Dino resisted. He fought tooth and nail, his instincts screaming danger at the sight of these unfamiliar beings. But the hunters were persistent. They saw beyond the wild exterior, recognizing the human child lost in the wilderness. They knew they had to bring him back to the world of men, back to civilization. It wasn't easy. The boy who had spent years living among wolves was not ready to accept the norms of human society. He snarled, he bit, he ran, but the hunters did not give up. They used gentle persuasion, patience, and a determination that was as fierce as the boy they were trying to save. Slowly, bit by bit, they managed to gain Dino's trust. They fed him, clothed him, and introduced him to the ways of men. It was a daunting task, one that required tremendous effort and patience, but they were determined to rescue the boy from the clutches of the wild, to give him a chance at a normal life. And so, after a struggle that seemed to last an eternity, they succeeded. From the heart of the wilderness, from a life among wolves, Dino was brought back to the world of humans. He was rescued, saved from a life that was as dangerous as it was wild. From the wild heart of the forest, Dino was brought into a world he barely understood. But it was a start, a new beginning, a chance to rediscover his humanity. It was a rescue that would change Dino's life forever, marking the beginning of a journey towards understanding and acceptance. The journey of Dino's integration into society was no less than a Herculean task. You see, Dino had spent the most formative years of his life in the wild, learning the ways of the wolves, not of people. His transition from the wilderness to the world of men was marked by a series of trials and tribulations. In the beginning, Dino was an enigma, a puzzle that society struggled to piece together. His mannerisms, his habits, and his language, or lack thereof, were all distinctly non-human. Everything that we take for granted, understanding words, using utensils, even wearing clothes, was alien to him. Despite these hurdles, the people around Dino didn't give up on him. They took it upon themselves to teach him, to guide him, and to help him understand the world around him. They showed extraordinary patience and compassion, spending countless hours trying to break through the barriers that separated Dino from the rest of humanity. Yet the struggle was immense. Dino was caught in a strange limbo, no longer a part of the wolf pack that raised him, but not quite a part of human society either. His attempts to communicate were often met with confusion, and his wolf-like behaviors were met with fear or hostility. There were also moments of heartbreak, moments when Dino would howl at the moon, a haunting reminder of the life he once knew. These were stark reminders of the duality of his existence, a boy raised by wolves, now living amongst men. But despite these challenges, Dino persisted. He slowly began to learn the ways of the world around him. He learned to communicate, to interact, and to live amongst his fellow humans. It was a slow process filled with countless setbacks, but Dino's resilience was unwavering. Dino's struggle to adapt was a testament to his resilience and the indomitable spirit of humanity. His story is a powerful reminder of the strength of the human spirit, of our innate ability to adapt, and of the profound impact that compassion and understanding can have on the lives of those around us. The tale of Dino Sanichar is a testament to the extraordinary circumstances of life. This young boy from India, abandoned and raised by wolves, lived a life that teeters on the edge of the unbelievable. Dino's life was a tapestry woven with threads of the wild and the civilized. Raised by wolves, he developed skills that were more animal than human, a survivalist in the truest sense of the word. Yet his story didn't end in the wilderness. Dino was discovered, rescued, and thrust into a society that was as foreign to him as the jungle would be to us. His integration into society was a journey fraught with challenges. The boy raised by wolves had to learn the ways of men, a task that was far from easy. Yet, despite the difficulties, Dino persisted. He learned, he adapted, and he survived, just as he had done in the wild. But what became of Dino Sanichar? The boy from the jungles of India lived out his days in an orphanage, his life a testament to the indomitable spirit of survival. Today his story lives on, a reminder of the extraordinary circumstances that life can present us with. Yet Dino's tale is not the only one of its kind. There have been similar incidents of children being raised by wild animals. Marina Chapman, for instance, was a girl raised by capuchin monkeys in the jungles of Colombia. John Sibunya, another such case, was brought up by monkeys in Uganda. These stories, much like Dino's, underline the incredible adaptability and resilience of the human spirit. Dino's story, while unique, is a powerful reminder of the thin line that separates the wild from the civilized. It's a tale of survival and adaptation, of the wild and the civilized living side by side. It's a testament to the extraordinary circumstances that life can throw our way and the astounding resilience of the human spirit. If you found Dino's story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more extraordinary tales. Until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of our world.